All right, welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Friday. That's right, Friday is here, August 27th, 2021. Before we start today's show, I would like to offer my condolences to the 13 lives that were lost from our American troops yesterday, also the 18 others that were injured, and also a moment of silence to those innocent Afghans who are also killed. Right now the death toll stands at over 80 combined, so moment of silence. All right, let's get right into some solar weather here. Our solar wind speed's coming in at 419.6 kilometers per second with a density of 11.3. I will report that we did have an incoming CME that earlier in the week, you might remember me talking about how long that magnetic filament release looked. It just looked like it was reaching the satellites, and it did impact us, but it was very weak. It was in the northern part of our magnetic field and only caused about 50 kilometers per second increase in solar wind speed. So right now, things are quieting down just a little bit, but we are dealing with 3 sunspots right now, and the total sunspot number is going to be 47. Not bad. Now, I will say this, AR 2860 has doubled in size. We are starting to see this sun wake up a little bit, but this is typical. So far in this new solar cycle, we have seen active periods, we have seen lulls. I will say that I thought that this recent break that we saw from the sun's activity lasted about 3 to 4 weeks. That's pretty long compared to what we've seen. Usually the uptick is 3 to 4 weeks. The downtick is about a week. So a little confusing situation there as far as following the sun, thinking that it's just going to stay quiet for a little while longer, and then boom, here comes more sunspots. And right now, the sunspot AR 2860 is producing another CME, and this one is called a solar tsunami. Let me get right into that actually, because I just read about this today. So let's go over here to SPACEWEATHER.com. As you see, I'm always ready, and here we go. All right, so here it is, the solar tsunami. Take a look at that, folks. That is what we're dealing with, another CME. I think the reason why we're calling this a solar tsunami, you can see the wave in here. You almost see the explosion, and then it reverberates down here. See how the corona lightly releases ejecta? Like particle matter is coming. It's very like cloud, but it's definitely from this area up here. So this one also will affect the northern part of our magnetic field, but this one is going to be a little bit more earth directing. Thank you, Ken Banks, for becoming, or Kim Barks, I should say, for becoming a paid member of the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Again, guys, we are subscriber supported. Everything that we receive from our subscribers is greatly appreciated. It goes right back into the channel, and it goes back into the operations and to help keep this channel going on a daily basis, which we're getting closer and closer. I know I've been saying that for 3 months, but if you've noticed, we've kind of upticked a little bit ourselves on broadcasts, and that is because we are nearing the end of our project. So we'll be on the air more, bringing you more content, and becoming a paid member helps us bring more exclusive content to you guys as well. But let's do a quick little read here on what they've written about this solar tsunami. AR 2859, which is the sunspot right here. That's AR 2859. On August 26th, producing a C3 solar flare. The flare, however, was not main attraction of the eruption, also a cause of a massive solar tsunami. Watch the live shadow ripple across the sun, as we just did here just a minute ago. The expanding circular shadow is a wave of hot plasma magnetism based on the time it took to reach the next sunspot. Halfway around the sun, the tsunami was traveling 110,000 miles per hour. Yeah. Solar tsunamis always herald a CME, and this one was no exception. Soon after the tsunami broke, SOHO chronographs detected a CME. The storm cloud appears to be heading for Earth, and NOAA, which they don't know what they're talking about, are watching the situation trying to determine what the impact's arrival time will be, I'll go ahead and throw it out there, folks. August 29th, August 30th, we should see the impacts from this. It could be brief and weak because A, it's north. It's not a direct hit, but it is Earth-facing. So we should see some kind of impact from this CME. Now, nothing grid shutting down or nothing like that. Just the C3 is not that strong of a solar flare. But we are continuing to see these solar flares increase in frequency and strength. Slowly but surely. Back to the space weather station here. We have only had 56 days without sunspots here in 2021. Cosmic radiation is down 8.9%. The last time we were on the air, which was August 24th, we were sitting at a 10% even. So we went from 10.9% last week as our peak last Friday, and now a week later we're down 2% on the cosmic radiation dosage rates. Interesting setup we have here too, because we have a hurricane that's approaching the Gulf. I'll get into that in a minute. And we were wondering if Hurricane Henri was going to be more intense because of the cosmic radiation situation. And we did see some pretty good sized rainfalls from Hurricane Henri. Nothing to shatter record books, but there were some areas that did see double digit in inches as far as rain totals. So I don't really think Henri was that strong of a system in the first place. It made landfall as a tropical storm. It didn't make landfall as a hurricane, but it still dropped some impressive amount of rains for just being a tropical storm. But like I said, AR 2858, 2859, 2860, and 2861 for a total sunspot number of 47. Our TCI is up slightly to 4.80. That's the temperature at the very top of our atmosphere, called the thermosphere climate index. And then the KP indices at a 1 with a 24-hour max of 3. Now, if you look in the center of your screen, you'll see the sun and this angstrom here. I don't remember, I think it's 301, 305 angstrom. I'm not quite sure. I apologize for that. But it looks like there's a massive coronal hole that's facing Earth. And usually when we say, oh, Earth facing coronal holes, KP's between 1 and 3, look out for earthquakes. But this is just showing up as a major coronal hole in this angstrom. If you look at the 193, yeah, the corona is weak in that direction, but it's not going to be as bad as this image is showing us. So the sun is quiet until now. We have 3 sunspot regions exploding across the sun, and my guess, looking at the corona in the northeastern limb, we have another one creeping around the corner as we speak. So we could see once again 4 sunspots on our star once again. All right, let's go over and check out some weather with Mike's weather page. Yeah, one of my favorite guys. I like to cover his page because it's so informational. Anyone can come to this page and utilize it and understand what the heck is going on instead of watching those liars over there at the comedy channel. I mean, the weather channel, I should say. Here is Ida's track. What's bad about this storm is the location of the northeastern side of this storm. And it's going to be generally right in here. Right now, the track has their landfall just west of New Orleans. However, we all know the worst part of the storms are in the northeast. We're going to see more storm surge over here. We're probably going to have a lot more rainfall and tornado action in this area as well. So this storm is tracking to be a Cat 3 landfall, believe it or not. Whether or not it will hold up this particular strength is another question. However, it is important to point out that the waters in the Gulf right now, especially near land, are very, very warm and will support this system strengthening as it approaches New Orleans. Here is the peak storm surge graphic. And as I was talking to you about the northeastern side of the storm, which being right here in New Orleans, they are getting the 7 to 11 feet of storm surge from here to here. This is going to be the eastern part of the storm. So we are expecting to see the most flooding in these areas right here. Lake Pontchartrain, once again, will be the top topic of discussion. We'll keep our eyes on that. They're looking at possibly 4 to 6 feet of storm surge there as well. So we know how New Orleans fares when it comes to hurricanes in this region, and this Cat 3 is not looking that much different Well, the Katrina was obviously a lot more powerful, but the potential is there for lots of rain to be dropped here from this particular storm. Now, let's take a look at the GOES satellite on Ida and look at her. Now, she has not yet quite made it to Texas or all the way in the Gulf. This is still very much unorganized, but you can see what a massive system this is, folks, and what it's capable of doing. And the fact that it's strengthening as it approaches land here in Cuba, it will continue to strengthen as it moves over land and into the much, much, much warmer waters here. In fact, let's see if we can find, and I'm pretty sure Mike's got something here that'll show us what the temperatures are for these for this particular storm. I want to point out too, folks, check this out. This is the amount of dust that we're getting in the air. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I see dust plumes right where the storm is right now. The light cream color is very little dust particulates. If this right here was over here, then yeah, I would say no chance of the storm intensifying. But you can tell right now on the coast of Texas and Louisiana already, the dust plume is not making it here. And that's why this storm is favorable for intensification as it approaches landfall. So we'll keep an eye on the dust clouds and check out, see what we can see on that. I'm looking for the temperatures here in the water. I know they're warm. He actually reported this morning on his webpage, and I can't find it. Wow, I would figure that his temps would be right here. That's what I get for not being prepared, folks. I know. I'm still looking. No. All right, so I'm not going to waste too much time looking for. Oh, here it is. Geez, right in front of my face. And we're loading. Tropical storm. Now it will be a hurricane. There's our temperature map that I wanted to see. Look at that. So bathwater, basically up here near the land. Out here, still pretty warm. But as you can see, we get a more concentrated area, much, much, much more. It's that 87-degree mark right there. Around 85 degrees on where this storm is going to make landfall, about 3 degrees warmer than what it is right now. So this storm will travel across the Gulf and absorb all that warmth and continue to build into a potential Cat 3 hurricane. And this would be the first landfall, the first hurricane landfall of 2021. This map here shows her to be a Cat 3 right before landfall, and then as it goes over land, down to a 2, and by Tuesday at 2 a.m. it should be just a regular low-pressure system moving out of the state of Mississippi into the Tennessee Valley. So what is the timeline? Well, right now we are still before the Gulf. So by midday Saturday, we'll see it, hopefully, we'll see it stay weak at a Cat 1, but it is predicted to be a Cat 1 by Saturday at 2. 24 hours later, it's predicted to jump up 12 hours later, it's projected to go up another category, and then 12 hours after that is also projected to go to a Cat 3 by the time it makes landfall sometime Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. Everything that on this, right now on this current track, seems pretty straight. And I say this because usually, I don't want that. Usually, we have a broader, when they say spaghetti models, they mean spaghetti models. And this particular storm here is showing a very tight storm track. I mean, check it out. These models agree, which is weird because usually they're all over the place. But these models are very comfortable with the track of this storm. Look at how close all these lines are. So I think the consensus, even though we don't like to use that here on this channel, but I think the consensus will agree that we are going to see some kind of a landfall here in the next couple of days in the New Orleans area, possibly just west of New Orleans. We'll be watching areas like Lake Pontchartrain again, 7 to 11 feet of storm surge possible for New Orleans. And we all know the trouble that we can get into down in New Orleans when it comes to sea level being lower than everywhere else. So the flooding is going to be that much worse down there. Let's hope that our country can respond better to the crisis, if there is a crisis down there in Louisiana for this particular hurricane. All right, so we'll go ahead and check out our 3-day forecast for the rest of us here in the United States. Severe weather possible for the northern plains, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Hopefully Millennial Farmer is getting some rain up there. He showed a picture of his crops, folks, and they are damaged, if not dead, unfortunately. Most of them are not doing good. The yields are going to be a lot lower in his farms. I know our friend Matt Bros, a farmer out there in Nebraska, also had some drier conditions this year. It's like McCook, Nebraska is in a force field. Right now they're not in that bubble of showers and storms. Cold front moving in across from the north. It's going to cool things down significantly. I know here in the northeast we will see temperatures only get to 69 for Saturday's high. This is the weather on Saturday. Rain, severe storms just south of New York, Poughkeepsie, but mainly Pennsylvania, Scranton, and near Atlantic City will be the ones receiving all this heavy, severe weather. Showers and storms possible for most of the northern plains, Great Lakes, and northeast across the south as well. Dry conditions remain for the southwest, or most of the southwest and the west coast as of now. And on Sunday, well, just chances of pop-up showers across most of the United States. A cool front trying to stay in place in the northeast, but another ridge in the jet stream, and we refer to these as ridge and fridge, or freeze and tease. In the summertime, I don't know what we can call it, the heat and seat, I don't know, something. But anyway, we are seeing another ridge that's going to push warmer air back into the Ohio Valley, into the northeast, but that will be short-lived because temperatures appear, at least here in the northeast, will be a little bit lower than average starting for the month of September. I just saw Mari make a comment in the chat talking about the Terminator event should be happening soon. Sun is making a shift to cycle 25 fully. Goodbye, cycle 24. It's funny that she mentions this because I wanted to talk about that too, really quick. It is weird to look at when it comes to this Terminator event. And Mari has a graph that she's been showing me that's trying to keep track of when this Terminator event is going to happen. And I'm going to be the rogue guy here on this, but just what I'm seeing on the graph. I mean, folks, we could have another 6 to 8 months before we see this Terminator event actually happen. Now, the further away from April it happens, the weaker this cycle is going to be. But if it happens between now and any time from now on, we might see an uptick in this solar cycle. So I'd say in the next, from here until the next 4 months, if we see the Terminator event, we will likely see this solar cycle uptick into high gear. If this takes a little bit longer, 6 to 8 months, we could see an equal strength cycle of solar cycle 24 rather than a much stronger like some are predicting. Again, the Terminator event is a new theory that's being tested. Some people think that it's going to have a huge impact on how much action we get from our star after this event. Some believe that it's just a rogue theory. So time will tell. It's the biggest cliche we say here at the Grand Solar Minimum channel, but it's just the truth, folks. Not only do we have Hurricane Ida, but we have a couple other systems to deal with as well. Before we actually leave the broadcast, I want to show one more thing here real quick. This map right here. I like this map because it gives us breakdowns. We have an 80% chance of development here, but this thing is curving up into the middle of the Atlantic. This storm here, which is where Henri formed, is predicted to go further northeast towards the UK. So was Henri. Henri was predicted to spin out and stay in the middle of the Atlantic before finally making its way to the east coast. So will that shift in direction happen on this one like it did on Henri? Hopefully not. But again, we are poised to see landfall from Hurricane Ida, the first landfall for a hurricane in 2021. And not only that, but we are possibly going to see a Cat 3 landfall. So not only are we getting our first hurricane landfall, but possibly a pretty strong and dangerous situation. So here at the Grand Solar Minimum channel, we are going to stay on this. We'll try to keep you updated on the storm as much as possible, plus everything else related to Grand Solar Minimum. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful Friday and a great weekend. And we will be back this weekend to update you on Hurricane Ida. This will not be a nothing burger storm. This should be something that we all should be watching. and hoping the folks here in New Orleans area takes these warnings now and make your preparations, because this storm does not look like it's going to die down or go away or dissipate or anything like that. This could be the real deal hurricane landfall of 2021. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me today. Have a great weekend, and we will talk soon.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.